Helicopter pilot spots mysterious monolith in remote part of Utah desert. Wildlife workers circling above the desert in southern Utah this month were more than a little shocked to discover a tall, rectangular slab of shiny metal, plunked in the midst of a pile of rust-colored rocks and stones, an incongruous sight to say the least. The men from the Utah Department of Safety posted pictures of the slab on their social media feed, and soon readers were speculating whether it was something akin to the obelisk in 2001, A Space Odyssey, the 1968 landmark film by Stanley Kubrick. The pilots were on the job counting bighorn sheep, part of the state's efforts to keep track of the species and how well it's faring in the harsh hills and hot weather. Their helicopter was circling so the team could count the sheep when suddenly one pilot, Brett Hutchings, caught sight of the weird, out-of-place object. "That's been about the strangest thing that I've come across out there in all my years flying," he noted later as he posted the pictures. The object stands about 10 to 12 feet high and has a rectangular shape just like the famous obelisk in 2001. It seemed, Hutchings said, to be fastened deep into the ground somehow, although he didn't speculate on just how that might have been accomplished or, more importantly, why someone would place it there. Utah State Police also posted photos of the strange find, but declined to share just where Hutchings and the group discovered it. Utah's a big state, and officials do not want curious alien seekers to go off in search of the slab, only to get lost in the desert and end up in some kind of physical peril. It was one of the biologists on Hutchings' team who first spied the monolith and drew the attention of it to others. He said, "Whoa, we gotta go look at it," Hutchings said. No one seems to be willing to take a guess at what the metal monolith might be, but one adventurous individual did theorize that it's the handiwork of a performance artist who placed it in the desert and stood back to chuckle over everyone's reaction. If that's the case, it was little more than a bit of harmless fun. Perhaps officials will discuss who did it if the monolith disappears and the cheeky person then takes credit for creating a fuss. Hutchings agreed, saying that, "I'm assuming that it's by a new wave artist or something, or someone who's a big fan of 2001: A Space Odyssey." Renowned American artist Liam Sharp got in on the fun and fuss about the discovery on his Instagram account by posting this comment: "I love this. I imagine it's an art piece, but what if it isn't? In other words, what if extraterrestrials are somehow responsible?" It's created a momentary distraction for a state, in fact, an entire country, that's overwhelmed with bad news every day, particularly as the coronavirus continues to spread in America. Bighorn sheep are perhaps the most famous animals that populate Utah's state parks because their striking appearance, massive curved horns, particularly big on the males, have made them symbolic of the rugged adaptability needed to cope in the region's harsh climates. In some areas it's hot, dry, and rocky, while in others there are alpine forests and mountains. The bighorn sheep roams through it all.